Hello, Black women. Did your dream really die or did you bury it alive? This is what I want to talk about with you today. So today, let's walk through a couple of questions that you can use to help you and that I use to help myself decide if a dream was dead or if it was buried alive, if it's still there. And also, I'm going to give you some homework, some resources that will help you resurrect that dream. But first, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Stephanie Perry. I'm a year-round house sitter. I'm the creator of House Sitter School. I am the co-creator of Exodus Summit. I help Black women take a sabbatical, move abroad, take a career break, bop around as a digital nomad on a budget. If that sounds good to you, make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Make sure that you turn on notifications, ring that notification bell so that you will be notified when I post a new video or when I go live. Welcome. Here's what's been going on in my world and running through my mind lately, and I want your input on these things. I was interviewed by Adelia Aborishade on the Picky Girl Travels the World podcast. I'll link to the podcast in the description. That was a wonderful conversation because I got to talk about things that I don't usually get to talk about. On my YouTube channel, I talk about house sitting, I talk about moving abroad, I talk about taking a sabbatical or a career break to travel. But in Adelia's podcast interview, I got to talk about my own personal dreams for my life. And we talked about the fact that I want a family. And Adelia was like, well, at your age, I'm 48, right? At your age, you could become a mother. But it's likely that a man who's going to marry a 48-year-old woman is most likely going to be done with having kids. And I said to her, I know. And I prioritized, right? Baby or children over men, right? Kids before bros. I don't know, right? And I said that and I was like, I'm satisfied with that answer in my mind. And I know that that's how things or will likely play out. And then a couple of things happened. Then I got a comment that I'll put here on the screen that says, all the hardships and disappointment in my life killed any dreams I thought I had. And of course, my first reaction to our good sis was, you know, they're not dead. These dreams are not dead, bring them back. Just like I know the dream of my own family, that dream that I have of having my own family, it didn't die. Sometimes it goes underground for a little while, but it always resurrects, right? Just like I know that dream didn't die, I know those other dreams that we have for ourselves, I don't think they die. I don't think they die. They may change form. We may be willing to accept them in a different form, right? They'll show up in a different way, but the dream itself, the dream doesn't die. It stays with us. I think, right? And so, of course, that made me start thinking about the dreams that I feel like I have said are dead, that maybe aren't dead. Then our good sis over on TikTok named Misha Lima responded to another video on a different topic, but then at the end of her TikTok, like it was a 2.5-minute TikTok video, right? The very end, the last 20 seconds, she says something about a lot of Black women feel like their ideal relationship is impossible. That form of love is impossible for themselves to get. And so they pour themselves into self-love, trying to replace the other form of love that they know is not coming. And that hit me like a ton of bricks, right? Like here I am, a person who has said out loud that I believe in living your dreams. And I'm living my dreams right now. I'm living like the 2.0 version of my dream life today. And I'm working towards 3.0, which is the family. 2.0 for me means that I get to live and be anywhere in the world at any point, right? I have income, I have businesses, plural, that mean that I can be anywhere in the world for as long as the tourist visa will let me stay, right? That's Dream Life 2.0. Between house sitting and my YouTube channel and my coaching business and my virtual summit business, I can spend 6 months in Mexico every year. I spent the entire winter in Curacao in the Caribbean, right? I can just bop around to my heart's desire. And I'm working on the next version of me, which is the version of me who has a family, right? So the fact that she said that I took it, Misha, I don't know if you'll see this video, but in my mind, you were talking to me. Okay, so I took what Misha said to mean that I am pouring so much focus into self-love in order to compensate for the romantic love that I know is not coming. And I don't want to live like that, right? I don't know what the answer is. That's why I'm telling you, this is not a video about me giving you answers to things. I'm here to ask you some questions. But our good sis who says that her dreams were killed, right? The disappointments and hardships in life killed her dreams. I don't know what her dreams were, right? Maybe they were career dreams, maybe they were family dreams, maybe they were travel dreams, maybe they were art dreams, right? I don't know what the dreams were, but I felt very confident in saying to her that her dreams were not dead. But then to my own self, I said, well, let's do things over here, right? To overcompensate for the fact that you're not going to get things over there. And I don't like that. I don't like that. I want everything that I want. I want it all. I want it all for me. I want it all for you. And I think it's possible to have everything that we want. Somebody out there has everything that they want in their life, right? You know, some people who are satisfied, some people who sit back and say, this is the life, right? Maybe something that you totally don't want and wouldn't agree with them on. But you know, people who can sit back and be like, my life is even better than I had ever dreamed. Right? My own mom said that in a video here, right? When I interviewed her here on this channel. And so let's, I think, try to figure out if a dream is dead. Spoiler alert, I don't think dreams die. I don't think they die. I think we just bury them alive, right? Even Langston Hughes' poem didn't say what happens to a dream that's dead. He said what happens to a dream deferred, right? Even the title of the poem is telling us that the dreams don't die. They may go dormant for long periods of time, but they don't die. We die. We die with those dreams still in us. So I think we can work through, like, how do we know if we've buried some dreams alive? And how do we know that these zombies, or whether these zombies are going to come back to life and tap us on the shoulder and say, hey, remember me? So I have two questions, right? Two questions that I think will help us decide on these things and help us figure out how to move forward. And again, I don't care what the dream is, right? Your dream could be living abroad. Your dream could be location independence, which is what I have. Your dream could be a loving, committed relationship, or a family, or money, or a business, or authorship, writing books, being a speaker, or art, creating art for a living. Okay, so like I said, I have a couple of questions that I think were helpful to me in trying to figure out, like, is this dream dead, or is it did I just bury it alive, and is it going to come back out of the ground like Carrie and grab me later on down the road? Question number one was, do I feel like I have to justify why I don't want it anymore when I speak about it? Right? So I'm 48, I don't have children, and I've made it clear to my friends earlier in life that I did want children. And so when I speak about not having kids today, do I have to justify why? Right? Why I'm okay with it? Do I feel like I have to give them sentences, paragraphs, dissertations about why, but it's okay. I think that if I really had been okay with it, I would have just been like, yeah, I don't have that. Yeah, I changed my mind, right? Or I don't want it now, right? Instead, I would say things like, well, in my mind, I would say to myself, everybody gets this but me because I don't deserve it, right? That's what I would say to myself. But out loud, I would be like, yeah, but I get to travel and I get to do these things, and all of my money is mine and all of my time is mine, right? This was just talk. This was just me trying to talk away a dream, a real dream that I have for myself, right? So question number one, I think, that helped me uncover whether or not I still wanted these things for myself, or whether they passed me by, right? Some things you want in a phase of your life. As I said, I feel like I'm Stephanie 2.0. And so Stephanie 2.0 is not going to want the same things as the original Stephanie, right? The old school Stephanie, right? I'm extra crispy now. And so some of those things will shift, right? Those desires and dreams and wants and goals, they're going to change. But that question, do I feel like I have to justify and explain why I don't want it anymore? I think that was a good indication of the fact that I actually do want it, and I'm just burying it. Every single sentence, every explanation and justification is just me trying to throw a little more dirt on that grave. That's turmoil, right? It was a clear indication that I was feeling turmoil and not at peace with not having or wanting the thing anymore. When you're at peace with not having something and not wanting something, you don't have to go through all that justification and explaining and qualifying and all of that. So I feel like that was the question that helped me to see, oh, actually, I probably do still want this thing, right? So what do you say about your former dream, right? What do you say about it? And what is the story that you've created as to why you don't want it? And is it a true story, right? Is it a true story? Is it true that you really don't want it because you've grown and evolved, right? And you're on to the next? Or is it a fiction story? Is this made up just to try to help pacify yourself? And then the second question that helped me uncover whether or not this was a dream that I had buried alive was, how do I feel when somebody else gets the thing that I wanted? When somebody else gets the dream that I wanted? How do I feel? I felt jealousy. I felt envy. I felt self-pity. I felt unworthy, right? I felt like these are clear indications that I still wanted the thing. You don't feel envy of people who get things that you don't want, right? You don't feel envy of people who get things that you don't want. If you feel envy, it's because you want that thing. That dream is still there. It might be buried alive, but it's alive. Once upon a time, I used to tell people that I wanted to be a doctor. I never really wanted to be a doctor, but I did like the way that people responded when I said those words. I always wanted to be a writer, right? But nobody ever celebrated when I said I wanted to be a doctor. So I used to tell people I wanted to be a doctor. You know what I do? When I see people graduating from medical school, I say congratulations and I move on. I don't feel a piece of envy. I don't feel a twinge of what would have happened if. Not a twang, right? Clear indication that's not my dream. It's not a dream for me. So I think that question, what do you do? How do you feel when somebody gets that thing that you wanted? Envy is a clear indication that you still want it. Most of the men that I had a long-term relationship with at some point are now married. You know how I feel about that? Good for them, right? That's a clear indication, not my dream. They in particular were not my dream, right? I think they would say the same thing. This is not me being rude, right? I know they would say the same thing because they're happily married. So how do you feel? How do you react? What stirs up in you when somebody gets that thing that you used to want? If it's envy, don't beat the envy down and try to deny it. Accept it, right? I envy this thing. I envy you for having this thing because I also want that thing, okay? And then wake that dream up, or it's not sleep, but pull it up out of the grave. Pull that thing up, pull it up, okay? And get to work on what version of it is still available to you. Is there some version of that that's still available to you? I think another question that is helpful is, what about that dream appeals to me, right? So you may not need the whole thing. Maybe you don't need to go to law school, right? What appealed to you? Was it just that people celebrate other people when they become lawyers, and so I want to become a lawyer? Then your dream isn't being a lawyer, right? Your dream is feeling celebrated or feeling like you are contributing or something, right? You can do that in many other ways, right? If what appealed to me about motherhood was something that I could get in other sources, in other ways, I would do that, right? If what I really just needed was some God kids to spoil, I would go out and get some God kids to spoil instead of starting a motherhood journey at 48, but that's a different story, okay? But I think that we sometimes think very black and white about the dreams, very yes or no, very ones and zeros. But there are different ways to get the things that you want, right? There are different ways, and they can look a lot of different ways and still give you the feeling. Those manifestation teachers and like Brown and Bendy, who I love on YouTube, right? They talk a lot about the feeling, and I think they're right about this. What we want isn't always the thing. We want the feeling that comes with the thing. When you can identify how that feels for you, you can get it in other ways, right? So those are the questions that I think are very helpful in deciding if a dream is dead or if it's buried alive. I cannot stand the thought of anything being buried alive. So let's pull it up, okay? Let's pull it up and resuscitate it, okay? Get your shovels out, okay? So here's some resources for you if you feel like you have buried a dream alive and it's time to pull it out. Because what's the point in waiting another 10 or 20 years, right? This is what I talked with Adelia about on her podcast. What is the point of waiting any longer? It's not going to get easier if I wait longer to get a family, right? It's not going to be easier for you if you wait longer to do the things that you're dreaming of, moving abroad or having a committed relationship or becoming an author or an artist or whatever. So let's get some action steps. Faith without works is dead. Faith without works is useless and ineffective. That's what the Message Bible says, right? Faith without works is useless and ineffective. So to put the newfound faith to work, right? The newfound faith that the dream can be yours, may look a little different, may present itself in a different way, but it still can be yours. Here are a couple ways that you can do that. First of all, if your dream is a life abroad, right? If your dream is moving to another country, if your dream is bopping around like a digital nomad, the way that I do, if your dream is to take a sabbatical, a career break, take some time where you don't work, where you get to do only what you want to do, okay? I know a place that can help you work towards that dream. This place is called Exodus Summit. Exodus Summit is a virtual summit that I co-host along with Rashida Dow of Sheeta's on the Loose. Exodus Summit happens October 8th through 10th, 2022. Okay, this is a virtual summit over the weekend where you will learn how to make move abroad money. The theme for this year's Exodus Summit is Move Abroad Money. This is our third year hosting the summit. So we've got 2 years of success stories under our belts. We've got 2 years of Black women who have said, this is a thing I want. It seems impossible. I don't know how to do it, but I'm willing to take some steps. We've got 2 years of women who said that and are now living that dream out, right? At any age, in their 30s, in their 40s, in their 50s, in their 60s, in their 70s, in their 80s. Yes, okay? Dreams don't die, all right? Adelia told me this, dreams don't die. So sign up for Exodus Summit at exodussummit.com if your dream is a life abroad or a sabbatical, some time away from work, whether you do that abroad or right in your own backyard, right? Exodus Summit is the place where you will learn how to make the money to fund that thing, because I'm not here to pretend like dreams don't cost money, okay? My dreams cost money, probably yours do too. So exodussummit.com is the place for you if your dream is a life abroad or a sabbatical or some time where work is not the focus of your life. The biggest indicator, I think, of whether or not you will achieve your new thing, right? Achieve that goal which seems impossible for you today, I think. The biggest indicator is, do you have a community of people who support you? Do you have a community of people who not only support you, but who are walking alongside you? Do you have people who are a step or two ahead of you, who can give you some mentorship, some guidance, some advice? And then do you have people who are walking right beside you, right? Who can help keep you going, keep you encouraged, answer your questions, be a support for you. So exodussummit.com is the place for you if your dream is a life abroad or some time when you don't work, or house sitting, which is what I do, right? Another resource that I have for you is the Breakthroughs for Black Women playlist. I put together a playlist on this YouTube channel because I believe in breakthroughs. I believe in not staying stuck. I've been stuck. I was a person who at 41 thought that this was just my life. I'm just a person who works night shift, who doesn't have the things that she dreamed of having in her life. And I'm just going to keep on pushing until I get to 65, and then maybe I can start living at 65, okay? Instead of that, now I'm a digital nomad who's like working from an RV in the Florida Keys right now. But you know, you never know where in the world I get to turn up. When I show up on video, you never know where I am in the world. And that's the result of me having breakthroughs in my life. I believe in breakthroughs, and I have a playlist called Breakthroughs for Black Women that, of course, is linked in the description of this video, okay? The third piece of homework I have for you is to let me know in the comments of this video, what is the dream? What is your dream that you have either deferred, that you have buried alive, that you have tried to convince yourself you don't want anymore, but that you do actually want? If you scroll down into the comments, you see we've all been there. We've all tried to convince ourselves that a dream was not a dream, right? That, oh, I don't want it. Actually, I don't want it. Okay. And then it's come back and back and back again. So if you want to share what that dream is, that is the first step towards taking action, right? Share what it is out loud in the world and see if forces don't start to conspire to help you get there. All right. I hope that when you scroll down in the comments, you'll not only see people whose dreams maybe had been buried alive and have come back, right? But I hope you'll also see some people whose dreams were buried alive. They've pulled them up out of the grave and they've gotten them. And they've received that thing that they once thought was not possible for them. I hope that you'll see that in the comments, okay? So let's share some stuff here, and then I will see you at Exodus Summit online, October 8th through 10th, okay? You get your tickets at exodussummit.com, okay? Please take a second, hit the like button on this video, and share it with a Black woman whose dream has been buried alive. Let her know that she can bring it back. She can pull it back out of the dirt and resurrect it and live and receive the things that she once thought were not possible for her. All right. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.